Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Khan and I'm a first year optometry student. Today I wanted to give you guys a video giving you my impression of my first semester. So this video is going to be broken down into my curriculum, my schedule, my personal extracurriculars, exam week, how I study, things I wish I knew before coming into optometry school, what I wish I didn't do while in optometry school. And despite it being very stressful, filled with exams, anxiety, work, and a lot of stuff, I wanted to share my personal favorite memories from optometry school. So let's get started. Our curriculum has a total of 10 classes, 6 being lectures and 4 being lab. So the lectures we took were neuroanatomy, anatomy, optics, vision science, optometry, and physiology, which consisted of biology, immunology, cardiovascular, and such like that. And the 4 labs that we took were optics, anatomy, neuroanatomy, and clinic. So our schedule is basically 9 to 12. We have lecture, and then the afternoons are for labs. And our class is broken down into 4 groups, A, B, C, and D. You basically have every single lab with your lab group for the next 4 years. Your lab group will have basically the same schedule as you. So my personal schedule, I was in lab group D, and my schedule was from Monday and Tuesday we had class from 9 to 12, and then we had lab from 1 to 4, and then we were done. And then on Wednesday we had a short day, so we were done after 12, so we didn't have any labs that day. And then on Thursday I had class from 9 to 7. It was really rough the first 2 times, but then after that we kind of got used to it, so it wasn't as bad. It sounded a little scary from being in class and learning and being engaged the whole day. I remember my first 9 to 7, I was so tired afterwards, I completely just crashed. But later on I was able to develop a routine for it. And then on Fridays we have lectures from 9 to 1 p.m. And so my personal extracurriculars, I did residential advisor. I was an RA at one of the dorms on campus, and that was good because that enabled me to live on campus for free. Had a meal plan, everything. The downside was I didn't realize how much work it was going to be. I did it all throughout undergrad, and I thought it was a breeze. It was really easy, you know, but when I was doing it with optometry school while taking about 20-something credit hours, it was really rough to manage everything. So our school has a note service program thing where we have about 3 or 4 elected note takers for the class. They have to show up to every single class and take notes of the class, and they upload it. And so another thing that I did was I was the note service coordinator. So I wasn't the note taker, but I was the person who was in charge of all the note takers. I was also a part of 3 other organizations on campus that were optometry related. So they basically do what any other organization would do, just a basic volunteering, fundraiser, and stuff like that. Okay, so next we have the dreaded exam weeks. Exam week for us is like this known horror thing, and they were right. I mean, it lived up to all its expectations. So the first 4 weeks of school weren't too bad because we just had classes, labs, went back, studied, rinse and repeat, so it wasn't as bad. So the first exam week happened about 4 weeks in. So our exam week starts on a Wednesday and ends on a Tuesday of the following week, and we have 6 consecutive exams that follows. But during the exam week we don't have any classes or labs, so that week is just dedicated to exams. Our schedule was usually broken into that Wednesday was physiology, Thursday was anatomy, Wednesday was optics, and the following week we have optometry and vision science on the same Monday, and then Tuesday we had neuroanatomy. And it's funny because one of our professors who teaches neuroanatomy was telling us that usually when students get to his exam, they're usually brain dead, you know, neuroanatomy, and it's the last exam. Anyways, wasn't funny. Okay, the first exam week, it wasn't too bad because we had that whole 4 weeks to prepare. But after exam week is when school really hit us and everything just starts spiraling. So after the first exam week, the exam week ended on a Tuesday, so we had that whole rest of the week to rest. Well, rest, because the following week we have 2 lab exams, and then the week after that we have another 2 lab exams, and the week after that, we didn't have anything, but it wasn't really a free week because the following week after that, we had our 6 consecutive exams. So that week was basically just catching up on the classes that we have neglected, since a lot of us after the first exam week, we kind of just crashed a little and we didn't go to class, and like it was really hard to bounce back into the daily routine after you're just like really tired of, you know, 6 consecutive exams, and then we have to study for a lab exam, so everyone was kind of behind on lecture. So that week we had more lectures, but we also had to catch up on the classes that we weren't completely 100% caught up with. And then afterwards we had another 6 consecutive exams, and the second round of exam was really rough because all of our materials were more difficult and all of the lectures were very dense. They were about 80 slides each for some of them, and so it was a lot of information to cram down in a very little amount of time. And so that second round of exam was really hard, but once we got over that, we had a good 3 weeks where it was just lectures and labs, so that wasn't as bad. And then we had Thanksgiving break. So before Thanksgiving break, one of our professors had her exam before that, so we had optics exam before Thanksgiving break, so that wasn't as bad. And then Thanksgiving break goes by, and then when we come back, we had less than 3 weeks before the semester ended. In that less than 3 weeks, we had 9 exams. So we had 3 of our lab exams first, and then at the end we had all of our lecture exams. And so luckily when we were doing lecture exams, they weren't back to back to back like our exam weeks were. They had a good day space in between before like the last 3 exams, and they were consecutive. But the first 3 for neuroanatomy, anatomy, and optics, we had a good day in between, so we were able to study a lot more, because for neuro the last exam covered so much material, and for anatomy it was cumulative, and optics it was just like a lot of stuff. So we had that weekend after optics, because optics was on a Friday, we had that weekend to study for physiology, because that last physiology exam was cumulative and it also covered a lot of information. So we were very lucky to have that one weekend in between, because for vision science and optometry it was stuff that we were constantly seeing over and over. So I guess they thought it was okay for us just to have like 24 hours to study, which I guess was okay. It wasn't too bad. So that was a good amount of time for us to study the last 2 exams, but we were very thankful for the first 4 having a day space in between. So for how I study, I usually just use my iPad Pro, the Apple Pencil, and my MacBook or computer, whatever's in front of me. And so during lecture, I use the app Notability to take notes when the presenter is talking. Although I don't really go back and listen to everything, it's a good source for me to listen to while I'm going through the PowerPoint and I don't understand something, because I can just go back up and play it and just re-listen to that chunk. Notability is great because when you replay it, it shows where you are as the presenter's talking from your notes. So when you replay the audio, it shows exactly what you're writing down, where you are, so you can just quickly go through that section and listen to it again. So while I'm studying, I usually just go through the material, and for the more complicated stuff, I usually use Quizlet or Anki right in front of me on my MacBook or computer. So while I'm studying, I usually make Quizlet or Anki cards as I'm going through the material of the more like complicated things, or like things I really want to memorize, like the small little details. And so I use that, and then while I'm making it, I just work on it later while I'm in bed before I go to sleep, or while I'm just eating at the dining hall or something like that, just to do some light studying in my downtime. And so for math questions, I used to do practice questions, you know, because that's really all you can do for like classes like optics. And for labs like anatomy and neuroanatomy, Anki is great because you can have diagrams. You can just blank out the portion where you want to learn, and then they'll blank it out, and like all the cards will come up one by one of like the sections that you chose. And also I have a mentor, like in optometry school you're assigned a mentor, and so she gives me her notes, and then we also have the note taker's notes. And so I'll go through the PowerPoint, I'll listen to it, go back to some of the stuff I don't understand, and afterwards I just look at my mentor's notes and the note taker's note, and then by then I should have gone over the material at least 3 times, and I think I'm good for then. Ooh, something went into my eye. Ow, ow, ow. Guys, I feel like I should get more dressed up for my YouTube videos and put a little makeup on, but just so lazy. Hope it's okay. Anyways, so things I wish I knew before coming into optometry school. So first, I recommend everyone take anatomy before starting optometry school. All of my friends who haven't taken it, we all said the same thing. It's one of the things that we really wish we can go back and take, because it would have helped us tremendously in anatomy, because anatomy was a pretty hard class. And a lot of the people who have taken it had that very easy transition into anatomy in optometry school. So I really recommend you taking it. I know it's not a prereq for most of the optometry schools, but just take it. It's just one extra class that will help you so much. 2, it is okay not to make A's. I had to learn that the hard ways. B's are okay. I remember taking one of my exams and getting a B for the first time, and I was just so heartbroken. And that brings me to the next one, not to wallow, because like I said, all of our exams, once the first one starts, we're rolling. Like, there's no time to be sad, there's no time to wallow, you're just wasting time that you could have been spending on studying instead. So it's okay. That B will not kill you. You will survive, you will move on, you have 10 other classes to worry about. So that you really need to get into that mindset that getting a B is not the end of the world. Life will move on. You will graduate and become an optometrist. The next one is that you kind of have to be on it 24/7. And what I mean by that is that once you get behind, once you're done with the first round of exams, you really can't get behind. You really have to be on it all the time, which is really hard, trust me. Like, being in class from 9 to 4, once you're done with that, all you want to do is take a nap and rest, which is okay. Go for it. Take a 30-minute nap. Go to the gym, eat, relax, but then you got to get back on it. You got to study, you got to learn. You have to be on top of all your classes, because those exams are no joke and they will not stop. Everything is just going to keep piling up more and more, and everything is just going to get more difficult. So my biggest advice is that to not get behind and stay on top of everything despite being tired. Just really try to go over the material at least once. Next, it's okay to have a social life. Before starting optometry school, I thought I was just going to be studying all day, but that's not the case. Although the exams are crazy, you still have time to go out with your friends. I still make time for my boyfriends. We still make time for each other, and that's okay. It's okay to have a social life, and it's okay to make time to go to the gym, make time to listen to music, make time for Netflix, watching TV, watching movies, going out with your friends and stuff like that. It's okay. You will definitely have enough time to do that while spending your time wisely on the other materials of school and being on top of everything. Going to the gym. I know it's hard because, like, especially for someone like me, I hate going to the gym. I hate getting up and doing anything, to be honest. But going to the gym does wonders for you. Like, after a long, stressful day, just a quick 15-minute run does amazing things for your brain, and it does amazing things for your mood. Like, I think that's the biggest thing. Like, your mood changes when you go for a quick run. You just feel happier, and you're just like more excited, and you're ready to tackle the next lesson. Going to the gym is another advice I can give you. And the next one, stocking up on food. During exam week, you're literally going to be studying all the time, and like once the spiral starts, you're not gonna have enough time to go get food, you're not gonna have time to cook and stuff like that. So stocking up on frozen food and just meal prepping beforehand would do amazing. Hard for you to make time to go get food, so another thing is stocking up on frozen food. I know it's not the best for you, but during those exam weeks, those are the things that are gonna help you get through. So at the beginning of the year, before classes get difficult, like the first 2 weeks, there are so many socials that people plan. There's gatherings and there's parties and stuff like that. I suggest going to all of them. Go to all of them, mingle, make friends. Those are the people that you're gonna be around for the rest of the year, rest of the 4 years. So make friends, they'll help you so much in the long run. Everyone's always sharing notes with each other, like stuff that our mentors have given us. And so having someone that you can ask questions, having a group meet that you can throw stuff in and just ask anything you don't understand, like all those are great things. So just go to those socials at the beginning of the year. Even if you're lazy and don't want to get up, go to it. it'll help you. Making friends and connections is one of the biggest things in optometry school. At the beginning of the year, if you haven't already, go look at my back to school haul. I went crazy. I bought a bunch of stuff. I bought a bunch of pens, notes, and stuff like that. And I had to learn the hard way that taking cute notes was a waste of time. Like, I did not benefit much from it. They were just wasting time. I spent way too much time trying to make it look neat, even though it was so unnecessary. Chicken scratch will do. What I wish I didn't do in optometry school was, this is a hard one, but going to class, because a lot of the time, if you're not 100% focused on listening to the professors talking, there's really no point in going to class. A lot of the times when you're tired and you zone out, you just basically wasted a whole 50 minutes of that class just being there. So I feel like unless I know I'm going to be 100% focused, I feel like I shouldn't go to class. That's one of the things I wish I didn't do, because I wasted, a good 9 to 12 where I can just be self-studying and looking over the material on my own. So my personal favorite memories in optometry school, despite being tired, like the coffee shop moments with my friends, we like trying out different coffee shops and like being annoyed at some parts, like crazy moments in some other parts. Like, let me just insert this clip right now. Yeah, that happened. So you know what, those are like fun, cherishable moments, and like before an exam, if our exam starts at 9, we have study rooms, and like my friends and I would go into the study rooms like around 7, and we'll either sit there in silence or we'll sit there and ask each other questions. And then before lab exams, we'll like have 6 of us in one room, like a small room, and we'll have a computer on the table, and we'll all just like yell out answers when we're doing like anatomy or neuroanatomy, and like those were nice moments. And other stuff like socials, like football games, like Halloween parties and stuff like that, those were actually really fun. And then I guess the last thing is just meeting new people. It's one of the things I really loved about optometry school, is meeting a lot of bright individuals. Everyone in optometry school are there just for the same reasons you are. Everyone's really nice, everyone wants to get to know you, and everyone's just nice to one another. So I love that so much. The community that we built at my school, it's great. Alright, so that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you found it helpful. Go ahead and subscribe and give me a big thumbs up. And if you actually made it this far, comment saying I can't wait for optometry school, and let me actually see who actually made it this far. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. I know YouTube's been having issues with my comments, so hopefully they will show up and I will respond to them. If anything, follow me on Instagram, and yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing day and good luck studying. Bye guys.